Good morning, students. So today we're going to be talking about arithmetic sequences. All right. So in your lesson on slide number 2, it talks about what our objective is to be able to identify arithmetic sequence and solve appropriately. So on slide number 3 of the lesson, you will see the definition of an arithmetic sequence. So what is an arithmetic sequence? An arithmetic sequence follows a pattern of adding or subtracting a fixed amount from one number to the next. All right. We often refer to this fixed amount as the common difference. All right. So a sequence is a pattern. All right. A sequence is a pattern. So the common difference of a sequence will help us identify from one number to the next, or from one term to the next. So let's go ahead and look at the example that we have here. It says determine the common difference. All right. The common difference in a sequence. So remember, an arithmetic is a pattern of adding or subtracting. So here we have our first, second, we have our third, all right, and so on. So from our first to our second, there's a difference, all right, there's a pattern. So here, if we look at our first term and then we go to our second term, we realize that there is a difference of 11, right? So if I go from my second to my third, I also realize that there's a difference of 11 again. So you starting to see a pattern. If I go from my third to my fourth, there's also a difference of 11. And if I go from 4 to 5, there's also a difference of 11. So we're starting to see a pattern here of 11. All right. So this is my fourth and this is my fifth. I can identify my sixth term. All right. How do I identify my sixth term? By following the pattern. So each time there's 11 that's added to it. So if I add 11 to my 55 here, I'm going to get what? 55 plus 11 is going to give me 66. And this would represent my sixth term. If I wanted to figure out my seventh term, it's going to be 66 plus 11. And you start to see the pattern, which is 77. So this is how we find the answer for this one here. All right. So let's look at example 2. It says the first term in the sequence is 5. So I know my first term is number 5, right? So then it says the common difference is -2. So that means each term they're adding -2. Determine and state the first 5 terms. So this is my first, right? This is my first term. So I need to find my second, my third, right? My fourth, and my fifth term. All right. So let's look at how does this work. How does this work here? So if my first term is 5 and the common difference is 2, if I add -2 to this, it's going to be 5. So this is my first. My second is going to be 5, which is my first term, plus -2, right? And this is going to give me 3, right? So my second term is 3. If I want my third term, it's going to be 3 plus -2, and this is going to give me 1. My fourth term is going to be 1 plus -2, right? Which this is going to give me -1. And my fifth term is going to be -1 plus -2 is going to give me -3. So let's look at it. It says that what? My first term is 5. My second term is 3. My third term is 1, -1, -3. And this is how, because there's a pattern. Each time there's a -2 common difference. All right. So that is my pattern there. So let's go ahead and look at some of the questions that you will see on your IXL homework. All right. So on your IXL homework, it's going to say identify the common difference and the missing number in the sequence. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to identify the pattern. All right. So we're missing the term here and the term here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to identify the common difference. All right. So if I go from 5.4 to 5.9, there's a common difference of 0.5. All right. If I go from 5.9 to 6.4, there is also a difference of what? 0.5. So if I go from 4.4 and I have a common difference of 0.5, if I add 0.5 to this, if I add 0.5 to this right here, right, 0.5 plus 4.4 is going to give me 4.9. And you can see that to go from 4.9 to 5.4, there's also a common difference of 0.5. All right, so let's go ahead and say, well, if I, from here, what number would I have to add 0.5 from here to give me the first term? This would be what? 3.9. All right, so how did I find it? I subtracted 0.5 from here. All right, and this is what you're going to do for your IXL. So here, what is the common difference here? It goes from 3.97 to 3.99, which is a common difference of 0.02. There's also a common difference here of 0.02. So if I add 0.02 here, it's going to give me 4.03. All right, so subtract 0.02 here is going to give me 3.95. That's the pattern. All right, this is your pattern here. So let's look at this other example. You go from 0.6 to 1.1. There's a difference of what? There's a difference of 0.5. All right. So if we're estimating that this is the common difference, if my common difference is 0.5, again here, I add 0.5 to 1.1, it's going to give me 1.6. Common difference here is 0.5. So I add 0.5 to this is going to give me 2.6. And the pattern goes on and on. All right. So let's look here. We go 95, 99, difference of 4. Difference of 4. We have a difference of 4. Difference of 4 here. So boom. What would it be here? Add 4 to this. It will be, if I add 4 to it here, it will be 107. All right, so let's look at these last two. So here we realize that we have a fraction, all right? Numerator and denominator. Denominators are all the same, but if you look at the numerator here, what happens? It goes 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a difference of what? 1 in the numerator. All right, so that means my next fraction here would be what? 6 over 11. We go from 40 to 33. There's a common difference of -7. All right, -7 in numerator, -7 again. All right, so here, what do we do? -7 in numerator is going to give me a common difference here of what? 12 over 43. All right, 12 over 43. And that is our lesson for today. So this is your IXL. Again, if you have any questions, just come to office hours and we'll be more than happy to help you guys. All right, so have a good day.